Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Humber RPN Bridging Program Information Session. My name is Catherine Ferguson, and I am the Program Coordinator for the Bridging Program at Humber. I wanted to start off this presentation to let you know that there is a chat box down at the bottom of the screen. If you put your cursor down at the bottom, you'll see a little square. We have people standing by that will be collating the questions at the end. So as you have questions, just please enter them into the chat box, and they are being monitored. And at the end of the presentation, we'll open the floor. The people monitoring the chat box, or the chat box, will try and collate some of the questions and answers, and then we'll try and deal with those right up front. So we have someone from admissions here that will talk to you as well. So that's about it. So just put your questions in the chat box, and we'll get started. So the acting associate dean we have now is Dr. Sandra Felice. You can see that my name's there, and Vince Fecteau is the admissions officer that will be taking care of the Humber Bridging program for right now. If you have specific questions about the program, you can email bntransfer@humber.ca, and they will get to your questions from there. So that is one of the websites that is worth knowing. I'm going to start the presentation off by doing a bit of an update. So there's been a change to the program. So as many of you know, the Ministry of Colleges and Universities back in February made an announcement that they were going to allow colleges to actually defer their own degrees for the BSCN. So knowing that, the last intake for the Humber UNB Collaborative Bridging Program, or sorry, the last intake for the Humber UN Collaborative students at all was this past September. So that is the last intake for that collaborative program for the fall of 2020. So going forward, the college is going to do an intake for the Humber Bridging program in January of 2021. But at the end of that, you will get a degree from Humber College. So you're getting a BSCN from Humber College as opposed to a UNB degree. So the college right now is currently awaiting approval for the program from the Ministry of College and Universities and the CNO. We're still waiting for that approval process to go forward. So as it stands right now, if you get accepted, you can still go into the bridging semester, which is an extended semester from January to August. At the end of that bridging semester, if you're successful in the bridging semester, then you would proceed into the new Humber College degree program. Okay, so we'll go over some of the requirements that are currently still standing. Currently, I don't have any information about what the program looks like because it's currently being developed. So what we're hoping to do at a later date, because we have some deadlines coming up for submissions, is that at a later date we'll have another information session to give you a better picture of what happens after that bridging semester, because we don't really know what the courses will look like, what year you're going to go in, how long the program will be. We don't have those answers right now. So we are hoping to have another information session probably closer to November. We should have some more information for you. Okay, so let me just go through some of the slides. As far as your RPN to RN transition role, you guys have decided that you want to transition into an RN role, which of course has a lot of opportunities. You can do leadership roles, you can go on to be NPs, you can do, you can do your master's, your PhD, research. You can become educators. There's a specialty. There's specialty certificates available for RNs that aren't necessarily for RPNs. So, and the pay grade is quite is higher, which is always a big bonus. So there are a lot of opportunities, and plus you go from working, you can get more critical patients, you can go into more critical areas. So it does offer a lot of benefits. You can work in the community, public health, those kinds of things. So there is a lot of benefit to doing that. Some of the biggest challenges for this program is that people that I've taught have tried to balance home life, work life with a full-time program. So it is a difficult balance, but you are, if you accept the your admission, then you're going into a full-time program. So we typically do not make exceptions for, you know, if you have to work or anything else. You're expected to go to a full-time program just like it was when you went to the PN program. So that's one of the things that is important to know. Strategies for success are always going to be prepare, prepare, prepare. So make sure you do your readings ahead of time. Make sure that you are taking notes, going to class, or for this one online. So making sure that you ask questions and come prepared to class. Because now, you know, you guys have already worked as RPNs, so you know that, you know, nursing is very much an application-based profession. So you have to know it and you have to apply it. So in degree programs, you get pushed harder. The expectations are much higher. That you're going to think on a much more critical level. Okay. So this is basically the layout. So they call it an extended semester. What it really does is covers 2 semesters. But when you actually register and pay, you know, the admissions representative here can clarify it a bit more, but you are basically, when you register in the fall for this, once you get your acceptance, you're actually registering for both semesters. You don't have to register again. So you'll start in the winter, January, you'll be doing patho, stats, and professional transitions. And then in that semester ends in April, and then we start another semester in May, beginning of May, depending on the semester starts. And then you'll be doing families, patient assessment, and ethics and moral theory. The one thing that's really, really important to know is that you need to obtain 74% in each course in order to move into the regular Humber BSCN program. Okay, so you need 74% in each course, not overall. It has to be each one. Okay. Okay, so one more thing before I let Vincent take over is that, so let me just back up a slide. So when you look at this slide, let's say, for instance, you're unsuccessful in patho in the January semester or the winter semester, you're still able to go into the, what we call extended or summer semester, and you'll still be able to take those 3 courses, okay? What that means, though, is that you have to come back a year later and then do that course again. Okay, so if you were unsuccessful, let's say families, and you passed all the patho, stats, and professional transitions, then you would have to wait another year, take families again before you can get into the main program. So this is kind of the entrance courses into the program. So you have to pass all of them. You're only allowed to be unsuccessful in the nursing courses twice before you're required to withdraw. Some of the other courses like stats, you get 3 attempts at it, but the nursing courses, you will only get 2 attempts. So that's something to bear in mind. Okay, so I'll hand it over to Vincent, and he will go over some of the more admission information, which he's a specialist at.
Hi, Catherine. Sorry, yeah, this is Marie.
Oh, sorry, Marie.
And oh, it's okay. I am the admission advisor for the RPN to RN bridging program. We may have talked before during email, so now you can put a face to the name. So I'm going to be talking about the admissions process. Most importantly, when are applications due? Applications are due October 6th. 2020. So just make sure that you submit your apply and submit all your transcripts before October 6th. So just make sure your Seneca or Humber transcripts are inputted on OCAS, okay? And just to let you know, the decisions and offers will be made mid to late October, no earlier. So all our final decisions will be made mid-October. So if you haven't heard from us yet, you know why. We're just waiting until all the applications are submitted. Just to give you some information about the fees and tuition. Tuition is approximately $3,700 per semester. Okay, and the tuition deposit is $250. Okay, it's a non-refundable deposit, and what it does, it holds your seat in the program. So just make sure that you pay that deposit before November 11th. Failure to pay the deposit can result in a withdrawal. So just make sure once you're accepted, pay your deposit on your My Humber account. You can pay by Visa or MasterCard. Also, the balance of fees for the rest of the tuition for that semester will be due January 29th, 2021. Also, for financial aid, students are eligible to apply for part-time OSAP, and students with a GPA of 80% or higher will receive a $2,500 scholarship, which is really, really great, especially nowadays, get that discount, okay? Next slide. So just to give you some information about the admission requirements, this program is only open for Humber and Seneca practical nursing graduates within the last 5 years, so no earlier than 2016. We're only looking at graduates from 2016 and onwards from Humber and Seneca only practical nursing diploma program. The GPA to get into this program is 74% minimum. Okay, but just to let you know, applicants are treated in rank order based on academic performance. So meeting the minimum GPA does not guarantee an offer of acceptance. Just to give you an idea, last year's competitive cutoff GPA was an 81%. Okay, and also, you need to make sure that you've successfully completed your Canadian Practical Nursing Registration exams, also known as CPNRE, and you must be in good standing with the CNO, College of Nurses of Ontario. This requirement must be met by January. So if you were to get accepted and you still don't have your CPNRE exams and you're registered with the CNO, not to worry, just make sure that you get that registration number once you've completed the exam before January. Also, this program is only open for domestic status in Canada, so permanent residents or Canadian citizens. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, Marie. My name is Vince Fecto. I'm the admissions officer for the Faculty of Health Sciences and Wellness. We may have also had some contact in the past. I'm going to be going over some registration information, transfer credit information, and some, sorry, my dog just got home, so he's a little crazy right now. And some financial aid possibilities. So I'll start off with some registration information. If accepted into the program, registration does open up on November the 30th of 2020. We do not have or will not have a finalized schedule until that time. All 6 bridging courses are a part of the winter semester and are governed by the winter 2021 academic calendar and dates. Therefore, if for any reason you do not continue on to the 3 courses that run in the summer, you will not be eligible for a refund for those courses. So essentially what that means is even though you will be studying 3 bridging courses in which technically the calendar of the May to August term, those dates and deadlines that apply for dropping courses, receiving a refund, etc., will be governed by the dates outlined on the 2021 winter calendar. Next slide. For a little bit of transfer credit information, when it comes to the actual bridging semester, you are only eligible to apply for 2 bridging courses for transfer credit, this being the statistics course and the pathophysiology course. We do have a very strict deadline that these need to be submitted by November the 30th of 2020. You can ignore the next point as those 2 courses are specific to the UNB Bachelor of Nursing curriculum, which as mentioned at the top of this presentation will be changing starting fall 2021. Important to note about transfer credits, all of these are applied for after the admission cycle is complete. So that means we don't assess or apply or receive transfer credit applications until all of our acceptances have gone out. So we do not pre-approve transfer credits as part of the admission cycle, anything like that. Important to note, if you've previously attempted Humber BN 4-year, you must take all nurse courses throughout the bridge semester and throughout the remainder of your program. So if you have attempted Humber Bachelor of Nursing at some point, you are not eligible for any nursing transfer credits for the nursing core courses specifically. Great, next slide. And then finally, some student funding options that might be available to you for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing Bridging Program. Obviously, OSAP, you're eligible for part-time OSAP, which is a part of the bridge semester, and then you would be eligible for full-time OSAP when you enter the full-time program in September 2021. There's funding opportunities through the RPNAO, plenty of student scholarship bursary options through Humber College directly, and you could potentially even reach out to your employers and see if they would be willing to, or help you out with furthering your education. So that's all we have for today when it comes to our actual presentation. I'll remind you guys that this presentation is being recorded. So if you join late and you miss something off the top, not to worry. You can listen to anything that was mentioned. It'll likely be posted on our website within the next 2 or 3 business days. And any other questions, please post them in our live Q&A. I can see that we don't really have any questions at this moment. If you have any questions that come to mind, later on or anything like that, they can also be directed to bntransfer@humber.ca. It's a mailbox that's monitored by myself and Marie and a few other admission staff, and we can help you out there for sure, no matter what. So we will stay live for a few more minutes to see if any other questions kind of roll in. Other than that, I want to thank you guys. It was a very brief presentation, but I want to thank you guys for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you guys soon.
Are there any questions right now? Ask away. Don't be shy. Just type them in. Time. Is there an option to complete the RN program part-time? No. So it's a full-time program. So generally you'll take the 3 courses in the winter semester and 3 courses in the summer semester, and then you enter into the regular full-time bachelor's program. That is my understanding right now. But like I said, we will have another information session to give you more specific answers. But that's what I understand, is that the ministry said that we're all allowed to offer BSCN. So that's what I know so far. Sorry, I'm just looking off to the questions. Any more questions? Yes, that's my understanding, is that we'll be a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. That's what the ministry has allowed. If we do not want to apply for the bridging course, this January, will we be able to apply next year? Vincent or Marie?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yes, so you have, after you graduate, so if you graduate practical nursing this year, you have about 4 years to apply for the bridging program. So for example, for this year, we are only looking at applicants who graduated from 2016 and onwards. Anyone who graduated before that, unfortunately, it's too late. So you do have about 4 years to make that decision.
I attempted this program for not successful the path. Do I still have to do all 6 courses again? It's probably better that you send the query directly to BN Transfer, and that way we can see your academic progress from before, and then we can answer you a little bit better. Yes, and don't forget to include your student number if you're going to make a query if you've been here before. Okay. Any other questions? So far, because of COVID, everything's going to be online in the winter session so far. That's the instructions we've been giving. We have been given by administration that we are to prepare to deliver online in the winter session. The summer session, it will depend on how COVID goes. The other questions, some of the questions we are getting is whether the courses will be synchronous or asynchronous. So will you have to be, sitting down at your computer when the class is actually running? That is completely dependent on the individual professor. So there's been some confusion about what online means. So you can have online, but you can have synchronous or asynchronous sessions. So some courses are online, so everything's going to be online, but the question is it going to be synchronous or asynchronous? So that is only determined after you basically get your course outline and have your first day. Sometimes you'll say in your course outline whether certain days, whether it's all synchronous, some days may be synchronous, some asynchronous. So it's very hard to kind of determine whether or not, it's not like some programs where everything is online and you just can go to it when you have time. So that is hard to answer, and you won't get your schedule until after you register. So you'll have an idea of when your classes are, but you won't know whether they are synchronous or asynchronous. If we go back into classes, then your schedule you'll be expected to be in class. So I would plan, once you get your schedule, I would plan to be online, ready to go. And if they turn around and say that it's asynchronous, you don't have to be online for the course, you're responsible for going through it at your own pace, then, for some people that may be beneficial, especially if you're working. So that's one of the questions we get a lot of, is online versus not, and then synchronous versus asynchronous. So there is a question for Marie. What is the cutoff for GPA to enter the bridging program?
Hi there. So it varies year to year. Just to give you an idea, last year was an 81% cutoff. Competitive cutoff. This year we don't know yet, since we're still reviewing applications. We will let you know if you've been accepted after the applications close in October. Okay, but it normally stays the same since this program is competitive. So yes, last year was 81%. And GPA means grade point average. Someone did ask me what that meant. So grade point average in your practical nursing diploma. We don't look at any other GPAs from high school or any courses that you take outside of your practical nursing diploma. Just the, that's it, just your practical nursing diploma from Seneca or Humber.
So there's a question, do I have to enroll into the RN program right away after I completed the bridging program? The expectation is that you will complete the bridging program and go into the main degree program. So yes. And as far as enrollment goes, maybe Marie or Vincent can answer this, that if they have passed all of the courses, the registry, they're basically permitted to register. So it's not necessarily about enrollment, but you'll be permitted to register. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, so you need to have passed all 6 to be permitted to register. There is like a slight difference between enrolled and registered. To be eligible to register, you have to pass all 6 courses, like you mentioned, Catherine, with the 74% in each, and that's not an average of the 6. You cannot have 5 95% grades and then 173 and be able to register. They all have to be at least 74%.
So there's another question. Can we take patho and stats without actually being enrolled in the program and then transfer them? You will not be able to take the patho and stats for this particular program. No, like it's not like you can self-register for those particular program or those particular courses. As Vincent said, if you want to take the equivalent and transfer them, that's one thing, but you will not be able to just take, the stats course and the patho course in I believe it's the winter time, and then, apply them and come back next year. So you're not allowed, it's basically like it's an all or nothing program. You come in, you're in a program, you're not taking individual courses. You get assigned those 3 courses. Does that answer your question? Sorry. Okay, so the question is, how many students are accepted into the program between Humber and Seneca? Is there a limit? I will leave this to Vincent or Marie.
Sure. So we usually admit up to approximately 50 applicants each year into the program. There's no threshold or number as to they have to come from one college or the other. We take our top 50 applicants via GPA. So there's no minimum or maximum that we admit from either college.
From start to finish, so the question is, from start to finish, approximately how long is the program? Like I said, we don't know yet because that part of the BSCN part of the program is still being developed, so we don't know what that looks like. Hopefully the later session that we have will have a bit more information, but I can't answer that right now. I don't know. The question is, what was the least GPA cutoff from previous years? So I will leave that to Marie or Vincent.
Yeah, so 74% is always the minimum, but last year it was an 81% program GPA, which in also people know it as 3.4. That would be a 80%. Okay, so just so you know, though, if you are a Seneca student, the GPA that's on your transcript is not the same GPA that we calculate, because we don't calculate SAT or unsat courses. So your GPA may be different in Humber's eyes compared to what you see on your transcript. Okay, but yes, 74% is the minimum. Last year it was an 81%.
Okay, so the question is, after this program, if we get accepted, we have to then apply for the BSCN program. If so, what is the GPA to get into the BSCN program from this program? So no, you don't have to apply. So if you are successful in the bridging courses and you get your 74% in each one, you'll be permitted to register. So you don't have to go and reapply for the whole process again. You're basically going from, as soon as you finish those 6 courses and you're successful, the plan is you just register for the next semester. You don't have to reapply. After bridge, so the question is, after bridging, are you still able to go on to your master's, or does it need to be a 4-year university program without bridging? So no, in order to progress into your master's program, PhD, anything like that, higher education, you have to have your degree. So if you finish the bridging semester, you're not, and you don't go into the regular BSCN program, you won't get your degree. So in order to go into your master's, you need to have a degree as your base. And then you go do your master's. Once you finish your master's, you're eligible to do your PhD. So, and don't forget, there's different types of masters, right? So you can do a master's NP, where you do your master's and become a nurse practitioner at the same time. There's double masters, where you can do your master's and MBA at the same time. There's all different types there's masters of health science administration, but you do need that base BSCN or Bachelor of Nursing or Bachelor of Science in Nursing. You need your base degree. Any more questions? Oh, here's another one. How many classes per week? And also, due to COVID, how is the clinical setting? So how many classes per week? Let me see now if I remember. Let me just grab the schedule and I will be able to tell you generally how many classes there are per week. As far as clinical and COVID, we've been able to get in, students in 4th year and pre-grad in right now. Our 3rd year students in the UNB program are doing community online, but we are anticipating that the acute care sites we have, I think, if I remember correctly now, even the PNs are getting placements right now. So the placements are coming slowly. hopefully it will not explode, and we'll still be able to get into clinical placements. I'm trying to think about classes per week now. I think, just one second. So professional transitions is one of the first courses. That one, I believe, is 1 per week. Patho, I believe, is 1 class per week, and stats, I believe, is 1 class per week. But I don't know what days they're on because that schedule is, not available right now. So usually 3 classes a week. In the summertime, you will have young families, which is peds and maternity. You'll have patient assessment, so you'll have a class and a lab, and ethics and moral theory is a class. So, so generally, if we didn't have COVID, you'd have to be on campus for 3 days a week. So the question is, do you need 74% in each course to get into the bridging program, or is that to get into the BSCN program? So the minimum admission is 74%, but you need to get 74 in each of the bridging courses. So each of the 6 courses, you need to have 74% in order to get into the BSCN program. So, but remember what I said, maybe I'll go back up to that slide. So for this one here, so if you start in January, you need to get 74 in patho, stats, and professional transitions, and you need to get 74 in families, patient assessment, and ethics and moral theory. It is not an average. You have to get 74 in each course. Okay, but if you are unsuccessful in one of the courses in the winter, you are still able to do the courses in the summer. What you'll have to do after that, though, is you'll have to wait another cycle, another year, and come back. So let's say you're unsuccessful in patho, then you can still do the summer semester. Then you have to come back the next winter and finish patho, and then you will go into the fall semester. So it's the same if you are unsuccessful in patient assessment, then you have to wait a whole year and then come back and do patient assessment in the summertime. And once you've passed that, then you'll be able to go in. If you are unsuccessful in, let's say, families in transition or patient assessment, if you're unsuccessful twice in those courses, then you are required to withdraw and you'll be pulled out of the program. Patho and stats, you're allowed 3 tries for that. So generally people don't do something more than once or more than twice though. So the question is, can we not retake it in the summer instead of waiting a whole year? No, as it stands now, you have to wait until it comes back up again the next time it's offered. So the bridging semester is only offered in the winter semester and the summer. So if you're unsuccessful in one of those courses, you have to wait until it comes back up. Whether you were unsuccessful in the winter, one of the winter courses or one of the summer courses, you have to wait until it comes back up again and do it again. So we can end the information session here and keep an eye out for another notification about another information session where we'll have more information about the actual BSCN program. And just a reminder that if you have questions that you think of later, it's fine. Just email bntransfer@humber.ca and then someone will get back to you about those questions. So it's not a big deal if you figure out something after you have a question. Just copy down that email address and then just send your questions off. Give them a couple of days to answer the questions because admissions also deals with a lot of other programs, and they'll be able to get back to you. Okay.